is audio to be heard. Huzzah! Look at that magic. Like literal technologically based magic. So let me just yep. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna trust all the things are balanced in the correct places. So with that, I'm just gonna pause for one moment to let the caption stop. So there's a nice starting point. So I'm just gonna stop talking. Okay, that should have been long enough. Wonderful. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Nerds with Dice. I am your GM for today, the Bardic Knock. You can find me on the internet, Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube, all as the Bardic Knock. Today we are jumping on in to our Kingdom Hearts tabletop role-playing game, The Dreams of Nobody. And I will give a brief recap of things after I let the other two wonderful people who are currently here talk and share things. We are currently down one cat with Capjack, who was going to be here, but then they ended up being given like a bunch of extra work last minute, and so that's fine. So I'll also try and explain what we're doing today after I let the other people talk. So, Kay, if you would be so kind as to say words and such about who you are.
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Kay, aka Undead Kay. You can find me over on my Twitter where I sometimes post things. That's just at K_Undead. You can also find me on my own Twitch channel, which is just Undead Kay. And yeah, I am playing. Oh my god, Xylene. That's who I'm playing. I had a momentary, like, who am I existential moment here, but we're good now.
Nice.
So. Yeah, yeah. That's who I am in playing Mahashta.
Anything else?
No, that's about it right now.
That is more than enough. And then the other wonderful human being we have with us today is Lauren. Lauren, would you like to say words about yourself?
Yes. Uh, like, like they said, my name is Lauren. My camera is currently off because I am lying down because I did too much work yesterday. I am playing Rissix, the resident wine mom, and Mystic.
I love how that's the secondary part of her. Yeah. Oh yeah, I
Like,
can do
oh
all this.
yeah,
Yeah. I have
oh yeah,
magical
the playbook.
powers and can shape reality. But that's only like the secondary part of who I am as a person. Primarily. Okay. So, with that brief recap, last time we were getting ready, finding out what our next mission was. The director contacted Team 6 through 9 and initially laid out a plan to suggest, okay, I need you lot to go undercover and pretend to be fugitives from the organization, Union, copyright and all that jazz. The Union, where we are not the organization. And in response, Team 6 through 9 essentially said, but what if we didn't? So instead, three other members of the Union have been branded as fugitives, and they're all off on missions in Team 6 through 9, have been sent out to eliminate, finger quotes, these fugitives in the hopes of testing if the hypothesis of when a nobody and its heartless are defeated or vanquished, they will reform and become whole again. So, two of those places have already been found. One was Halloween Town, and one was Gravity Falls. We have travelled to Gravity Falls, where we believe the scientist number 2 in the organization, being sexless, is we know that he is currently here. We tried to talk to him and tell Saxelus, oh, hey, you need to watch out, you're a fugitive. And Saxelus was like, yeah, good joke, guys. Good joke. And then hung up. So that, I believe, is the context for where we currently are in the canon of things. However, with one Kitty not currently being here, instead of progressing the canon forward, we're going to do a little jump back and look into the history of these characters. So we're specifically going to see a little interaction between Xylene and Rissix, maybe look in one of their earliest missions together and see how all of that went. So, with that, if I were to pose a question to the two of you, assuming that this is, like a TV show or a video game or anything like that, when you need narrative purpose to have a flashback of sorts, would either of you get any particular strong nostalgic feelings upon landing down in the environment that is Gravity Falls? So this, very calm but slightly weird and off-putting environment, very rural, middle of nowhere, lots of trees. Would that give either of you a reason to flash back and reflect on things, perhaps?
I kind of think it depends on where we land. If we land close to the school or like see a group of, maybe like people getting out of school or something like that, I think that would easily give a bit of a flashback.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think it depends on where we land.
What about you, Lauren? Same kind of thing?
Yeah, especially if it's near a school.
Okay, yeah. So, you know what, for either, I think that gives us a really good place to land down. So, you fly your gummy ship, you land it down, and I kind of like the idea that, you've never landed this thing before, and it's currently HK-47 who's flying. I love the idea that HK-47 just kind of hovers it over, like, what's wrong with it? Kind of like the play area that would be outside of a school, like where they'd send small children during recess. So it's got like a jungle gym. I like the idea that HK just hovers it over that. There's like a small child looking up, going, and someone grabs and pulls away as the ship, like without any elegance, just crashes down. And that would put you directly outside of this school. I kind of like the idea that just locals think, oh, they finally got around to replacing the jungle gym. That's cool, nice. It's just this spaceship.
Huh. I guess noticing the school, Xylene will just be like, huh. This takes me back a little. I remember back when. I don't know.
Well, you know what?
Doodly-doo.
That is
better.
That is a good enough transition for me. Just wave effects, harp music.
Yeah.
So, paint the scene for me, please, Xylene. Well, what are you recalling? What is in your mind?
Okay, so I feel we had to have some sort of like training academy or something to get good at being nobodies. I don't, of course. So maybe it's like first day of training, they have a specific area or specific like classes. I'm just like standing outside of the building, kind of looking down, trying to figure out where the heck I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, my words are not wanting to work today.
No, no, no,
Apparently.
that is absolutely fine. So, hmm, in your mind, what what does this whole thing kind of look and feel like? This training facility as such. The Also, where is this? Is this in a Disney World, or is this off in like a Kingdom Hearts original world, like Twilight Town or something like that?
I mean, if our base is in Hollow Bastion, I'd be thinking like maybe it's like, a building behind a castle. It's not the grandest, like a nice garden shed
Oh my
or
god.
something. You come in and they've actually cleaned it up some. There's a little blackboard and stuff. They've got, desks and stuff, and on the blackboard it just says, "So you're a nobody."
Okay, that makes me very happy to imagine. So just to play off of how you've described it, I don't know if this is a thing over in America, but it certainly is here. Especially around schools and things like that. Obviously, schools have to keep expanding. They have to keep getting bigger to accommodate more people, and a lot of schools, well, very weirdly, just kind of put like a small annex building. So like for example, the school I went to, very old building. Whilst I was at the school, it had its like bi or tricentenary of the chapel being put up. So the building itself had been there for like 200-300 years. But then there's like these weird little annex buildings which are like almost breeze block, like slapped off to the side. Like clearly have nothing to do with anything, but we just needed to put another building down. And
My school did trailers.
Same.
oh my god, yeah. So we essentially just have like a trailer outside the back of the castle. I like that. Uh,
Oh my god, I suddenly just got the most visceral memory of those trailers.
Yeah, I had classes in a couple of them. That, whew, whew. Yeah.
okay, so Blackboard, so you're a nobody. Um, how many people in this classroom? Is there like a fair few, or is it basically just you?
I feel like there might be a couple of people. I don't, the whole sentient nobodies isn't super common.
Hmm.
So they have more desks than people for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe like one or two sparse people. Or go ahead.
I'm picturing when you have like a remedial driving class, like a defensive driving class in TV. There's like maybe a little over a half dozen, and everybody looks severely mismatched.
Is this just the Breakfast Club? Is that what we're doing now?
Absolutely. I think that's where this is heading.
I am perfectly fine with stealing stuff from the principal's office, yes.
Okay, so if this is just the Breakfast Club, which classic high school American trope is Xylene currently portraying?
Oh, that's a good question. No, we're going full Rico. She's like the little edgy kid, that gives off massive new student vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Little edgy kid who likes to sit at the back of the class, kick her feet on the other, on the desk in front of her.
Okay, I like this. Now, Rissix, where do you feel you fit into this scene?
Okay, Rissix is sitting towards the middle of the class in one of the seat desks that's like right next to a wall. Just leaning back in her chair, arms crossed. Um, yeah, she is very definitely trying to be the bender of the group.
Sorry, that just amuses me because
Yeah, yeah.
to contemplate it is very much like, yeah, like that is you people who do that. Like, it became a very active choice of people to be that person, didn't it? After a while, which
Yeah.
I don't know, it just amused me when you can see someone trying to be some. It's something I just find very interesting as a commentary on life imitating art and all that junk. Okay, so as this is going on, Xylene, you're describing yourself as the new kid per se.
Hmm?
Is this maybe your first class? Like, how did you get here? What is the series of events that led to you showing up to this classroom?
Oh god, because that's now a question of like, where do nobodies go when they actually like manifest? Do you poof somewhere? I mean,
Okay.
I guess for this, or if you have any ideas, I'm like, huh.
So, trying to recall my Kingdom Hearts lore, which is very difficult because this lore is crunchy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The only real example we have of like the birth of a nobody, and we've got two examples. But oh look, both of these are very unique examples and can't really be taken as as anything, and those are Roxas and Shion. Now, obviously, Roxas is special because he's the nobody of like two people, but like 7 hearts, and it's very silly. And then Shion isn't even a real person. Shion's the concept of a memory of someone. Ah,
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts, man. So, anyhow, with Roxas, who we assume is the closest to a regular nobody's experience, is when they form, they just kind of they like half exist. They have no recollection of anything, and a lot of the time they can't even talk. From what I recall, Roxas was found by the organization and was just kind of kept in a room until he could move around and talk and think. Up until that point, he just kind of was there, doing nothing.
Yeah, I guess that actually makes sense. So I would probably in that instance would be found on a beach that looks kind of like a fight had gone down recently. You know, things are there's little scorches in the sand, uh, trees knocked over in the surrounding area, uh, and yeah, I guess whoever found her would, step out. I guess grab her and go.
Just
Just like
you're coming with me now.
I mean, if you're not really like functional, are you gonna say no?
I, that is
It's a question.
that most certainly is a question of everything. Which, if you think about it too much, it seems a bit weird. But you go, you know what? We're just moving the semi-conscious person to a safe location. There we go. That makes it feel less.
Yeah. Basically, not like a "you're coming with me," like a "come on, let's take you to a safe place." You know, this place is obviously not very safe, and
There we go. We'll just sit you in a room until you learn to talk. You'll be fine.
Kingdom Hearts logic. Why?
It's wild. So, for how many days has Eileen really been able to like think and talk, and how much of a recollection of anything does she currently have when she is now in this room for presumably the first time?
I think I remember being picked up off of the beach. I
Mhm.
remember, having maybe possibly like some basic conversation. As for how many days, I'm not entirely sure because room was, you know, little darker room was a bit sparse. Um, obviously it had all the basics and stuff, but it wasn't. They just keep them in the basement now. I'm sorry. Can't tell how many days when you're in a basement. No, I mean it's probably been like they probably give you like a week to get used to things.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me.
A week to get used to things, then dump you into training.
Now, in contrast to this, Rissix, how long do you feel that at this point you would have been here and
Um, maybe 2 weeks.
okay, so in this time, would you say you've probably seen people already come in and leave? Like, have people already succeeded at the training and you just can't pass that final exam?
Yeah, at this point, Rifix is very much the I know what I'm doing, but I never turn in my homework type of performance.
I relate to that on a spiritual level.
Yeah.
Such a mood. Such a mood. I
Yeah,
need it.
to
I'm
where,
such-
like, something happened early on in training where just out of sheer spite and stubbornness, Rifix just refuses to do a thing, I think.
Okay, I like that. So, now we've got all of this established. We know where we are, we know where we've been, we know what's happening. We're in the classroom. There's chalk on the board, so you're a nobody. At this point, Sexless would walk in. He's got his lab coat on, kind of stands up next to the board, and puts his fingers together for a moment, assuming that silence will naturally come. And I don't think it does right away. I think there's definitely a lot of, not loads, because not loads of you, but there's definitely, I don't believe that people would immediately pay attention to this person, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not a chance. Like, no one wants to pay attention to this guy. Okay. After a few moments, I believe Sexless will just go nails on the chalkboard and just pulling them down as slowly as he can.
Ooh, I hate it.
Yeah. He goes,
Cover ears.
okay.
As he finishes, I want to make eye contact with him. And I've
mhm.
been chewing gum this whole time, and I'm going to blow a bubble and pop it while staring at him.
He goes, yes, wonderful way to perfectly punctuate the situation there. Rissix. You know, see, it's astounding you're still here. You just enjoy my company that much? Is that it?
Well, I keep coming back hoping that one day I'll have another face to look at, and no, every time, just yours.
Oh, well, that's... the feeling is most certainly mutual. Well... Now that we've had our witty banter, we, of course, have a new face here today. New girl! I assume at this point everyone does that really awkward shuffle in the chair to turn and stare at Xylene.
Yeah.
I'm going to immediately just shrink in the desk just a little bit and try to like hide my face.
Now, would you be so kind as to introduce yourself to everyone here so we can all get on with our day?
Feet still kicked up on the desk in front of me. Do a little bit of a half wave, not really looking at anyone, and just be like, yeah, name's Eileen. Mm-hmm.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now, as you all, well, I don't know if you know, but as you all should know, you are here because you are special. You are special because you exist, and not in that, you know, namby-pamby, feel good about yourself way, oh, you exist, da, 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 da. No, but because you physically exist, you are unique. Because you shouldn't exist, because you're dead, or you fell to darkness, or whatever metaphor we're using for it nowadays. But somehow, you are here, and that is because you are a nobody. Does anybody know what that is? Looks out to the classroom. Does anyone? I assume nobody raises their hand or says anything.
No.
Just stone silence.
I do
Okay.
the awkward, like,
You go?
I'm filing my nails.
You made
no,
us...
I was just clearing my throat.
Ah, yes. Okay. Well, should not be surprised. So, a nobody is the empty husk of a person with a... Just someone who has a lot of willpower, essentially. So in life, you are clearly... Well, when you were whole, you were clearly very willful about something or other. And then something terrible happened to you. That part of your... after that, you know, part of yourself that contains all of your hope and emotions and just purpose for existing, all that's all bundled up in a ball of darkness, and that's off in the universe, causing havoc somewhere. And you are just an empty shell.
Rude.
Very quietly mutters, way to inspire confidence, person.
Well, you know, I can tell the truth, or I can be blunt and honest, and so we're going with truth today. Well, then it's the same thing. Shut up! Don't question me. Oh my god, what am I doing? So, yes, I can tell you the truth, or I can be nice. And those two are mutually exclusive. Don't believe what anyone else tells you. Now, what we are doing here as the Union is we go out of our way, we find nobodies, specifically gestures to the people in the room, specifically the more sentient ones who retained enough of their willpower to hold on to memory of what they were, which is why you look how you look and not like you know, one of the others. Worry about them later. Now, what we need you to do is we need you to prove your capability and your usefulness, and then you can be a member of the Union. You get a whole bunch of useful perks like dental and and then you work for us, and we send you off on tasks, and then you get a place to live. It's all very good stuff, but you need to pass this simple test. And you know, I'll hand out the paperwork for that in a moment. And yes, any questions?
Xylene has her hand raised.
Yes, new girl.
What if we don't want to work for you?
So I'll hand out the paperwork. Just does not answer you. Just
Appropriate.
and yep, yeah, there's really big, like thick, needlessly sewn stack of paper. Sexless just walks around the room, slapping it down on each person's desk. This paperwork is obnoxiously big. Ristic, you've probably filled this or not fill this out 2 or 3 times by now.
Yeah.
It is essentially like a combination of like a personality test, a psychiatric evaluation, and just like a what job suits you type questionnaire. So it's like it is needlessly long, needlessly personal, and it's all just a little uncomfortable in how it asks so much of you when honestly you might not even be able to recall the answers at this point. And so you can flick through and you can see it's like, so what is the saddest thing that ever happened to you? How did that make you feel? Did you cry?
Oh my god!
How long did you cry for? Do you remember what it's like to feel emotions?
You see a turtle, you put it on its back. Why did he do that?
Yeah, it goes into these really, like, what's the worst thing you ever did? Did you feel bad about it? Like, very intimately personal, but also somehow very accusatory in how it asks these questions. And sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, I kind of love how it's asking all these questions when canonically it's like you don't usually remember much, if anything.
I mean,
Yeah. I'd like to imagine that the first time I took this test, I just drew all over it. And the second time I took it, I wrote very graphic fanfic about, well, anti-fanfic, about Sexless and the other instructors.
what does aggressive anti-fanfic even look like?
I have written it before. It's not, yeah.
Oh goodness.
Just super over the top and...
So my question is after that, does Sexless even hand Rissix one?
Sexless does. He pauses and puts it down on Rissix's desk and just kind of gives Rissix a good long glare. Just saying,
Just gonna look up, perfectly innocent, big eyes.
He then picks it back up, flicks through a few pages and just pulls a couple out, folds them up and puts them away and goes, yeah. I don't know what his logic is. I think it was, if I take out some of the pages, maybe she won't write as much detail. And with that, Sexless kind of walks back to the front of the room and goes, I'll be back in approximately an hour, where we will then see what, we'll start with the next part of this. So, have fun. Preferably, you should be working in silence, but obviously I have more important things to do than to monitor you, so, I don't know, buddy system. Snitch on each other. All that hold each other accountable. And, shame each other if you don't follow the rules. I've got science and stuff to go and do. Bye! We'll just walk out the room.
So awkward.
I love how awkward
Like,
this...
out of character, I kind of love Sexless.
Yeah.
This is why I low-key very much enjoy not defining the character and just kind of seeing what happens. And I love how Sexless has become this painfully awkward person who doesn't quite grasp what he is doing wrong. It just I don't know, I find it interesting and funny. And so, with that, I think a couple of people in the room, they just can't be bothered with the hassle, so they're just going to sit down and quietly start working on it. Rissix, clearly we know you aren't going to be working on it. What are you doing?
Let's see. I feel like I have to one up what I did last time, which was the fanfic.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to start tearing little strips of it and doing that like paper quilling thing,
Mm-hmm.
and starting to see if I can make some sort of like upsetting mural on my desk.
Okay. And Xylene, what is your approach to everything that's going on?
Well, I sort of start kind of going through the questions, not really answering them, just sort of flipping pages,
Mm-hmm.
looking them over, and while doing that, drawing like a little stick figure on a skateboard in the lower right hand corner
Mm-hmm.
to eventually be able to flip through and, you know, yeah.
Okay.
I will take pause though when I see the question, what is your stance on the letter B?
See, I was literally going to ask, are there any questions that stand out to you? No, I like that one. See, now I can't decide. Should these questions, are they asked, and are they multiple choice? Or do they have like a little bubble to fill in? Because I like the idea that it's multiple choice. Stands on the letter B.
I feel like it's mixed, like kind of
Yeah.
like there was a standardized test that I had to take in high school where there was like 3 sections that were multiple choice and
Mhm.
1 writing section.
Okay, so now the question is, what are the multiple choice options for your stance on the letter B?
I personally, I'm for it. It's the second best letter. It's the best letter by a lot. It should be removed. I have absolutely no opinion on this letter, or I refuse to answer the question.
This is so silly.
I'm going to mark I refuse to answer the question.
So, you know what? I think there's actually something quite interesting to know. On all the multiple choice options, that is an option. That is the last option on every single multiple choice option. I refuse to answer the question. Which is amusingly paradoxical because you are answering a question by saying, I refuse to answer the question. So, you're still giving them information.
Yeah, which is exactly why Rissix has not ever won. I think she started to, like, partway through the test the first time, realize that this test feels like it's completely useless. So therefore, I'm just going to draw all over the rest because that should be the same as having no opinion, right? If you don't fill anything in.
Okay. So, approximately how long in to doing all of this will somebody just go, all right, no, I'm bored. We're not doing this. What the hell is going on?
It won't take me very long. I start just going through and marking that I refuse to answer every single question, and then I get about 10 questions in and kind of just push the papers off my desk and shrug.
I'm going to look over and nod approvingly. Good answer.
Have you taken this before?
Oh yeah, this is my 3rd time. Still sucks just as much as the first time.
Third. So you're saying they make you repeat it?
Yeah, apparently this is some, like, vital step to make them figure out where you should go and what your jobs should be and what your aptitudes are. And I don't see how, because look, did you even get to the questions on breakfast cereal?
I saw them coming up, and I think that's around the time that I just did that thing. But at first I thought it would be kind of funny to just say, like, I refuse to answer every single question, but then I thought they might use it against me. So.
Yeah, they're just never happy. This class, okay, is it just me, or have everything we've done, including this, but up until this point and including this, just been kind of useless?
I mean, I just got out of sitting in a room for a few days, so
exactly.
Yeah, I'd say pretty useless.
Yeah. So I feel like this is what they make us do while they're figuring out their own stuff. Because this is such a huge waste of time. Why would you make someone do this? Tests are supposed to be to tell you something about how much a student has learned. None of this has anything to do with what we've learned, and all of this personality stuff seems not really like personality stuff at all. It's just weird questions.
Should we just leave?
I tried that before, but maybe with two of us. Because the first time I tried that, someone finds you and escorts you back in. It's just weirdly, politely aggressive. I don't know, it's weird.
Did you try to, like, leave the grounds, or...?
Oh, I just left the room, but then again, I did take the door that time. You can see if... Yeah, the window... I'd imagine... Okay, is this just like a regular schoolhouse, or is it a tall building, or...
I mean, this is essentially just a trailer.
Okay, yeah, I forgot.
Okay. So, as you are having this discussion, one other person in the room kind of, like two people that just sat getting on with it, they're not acknowledging anything that's going on. One might look over, like, kind of glare, like, with laser eyes at you, and bring a single finger up to their mouth and go, shh. Clearly
I can blow a
taking
raspberry at them.
But one other person. Now, here is something. I know we have kept meaning to design this at some point, but I think now is a good time. I'm always going to forget this number.
Yeah, I was about to say, we're getting number I can't remember.
Yeah, I want to say number 8. It's either 7 or 8.
1 second. I think I have it in my notes somewhere.
We've written this down like 3 different times.
I know. Oh god, no. Okay. Yeah. So, Siri is 9. Xylene is 8. Rissix is 6. So it's
Okay.
7 that we're... Yeah.
Number 7. Okay.
Oh,
So, number 7. What do we want this person to be? What do we think they look like? Let's get some defining characteristics here. What are, like, so if we're doing the whole Breakfast Club vibe, and we've got Rissix as Bender, I can't remember the angry girl.
Allison?
Allison. Wait, is that the angry girl, or is that like prep girl?
No, Claire is the prep girl.
That's it. That's just Molly Ringwald. I can't remember names.
Molly Ringwald playing Molly Ringwald. What?
Look, no one actually remembers Molly Ringwald's character names because she's just Molly Ringwald in everything she did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
But
god,
it
you
worked
say
for
that
her.
and suddenly I can't remember her character's name in 16 Candles.
Because she's just Molly Ringwald. Oh god. That was a... Before I let myself get too distracted. Isn't it so weird how someone so big and so famous just, like, disappeared?
Yeah,
Ash?
apparently... Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'll do.
No, you go ahead, I might be misremembering it.
I was gonna say she actually does appear recently in one of the new episodes of Creepshow. She plays a character, just because they do cycle through different actors and stuff. But the new Creepshow over on Shudder, she does appear in one of the episodes in season 2, which has been going on for a little bit.
I guess that she was also in Riverdale or something. I always think of her from Not Another Teen Movie.
Oh my gosh.
God.
Yeah.
See, now there's something. Like
Yeah, what
a
happened
trend
was-
that just disappeared.
Yeah, regarding Molly Ringwald and her break from acting, yeah, apparently she started getting really, really sexualized in an audition, and it traumatized her, so she's like, yeah, I'm not doing this.
I mean,
So
definitely,
that was fun. So
definitely super gross that that happened. But I
Yeah.
also respect Molly for saying, no, I'm out.
yep.
So, gross it happened, shouldn't have happened. Respect for her for saying no.
Heck yeah.
Okay, so now we're all thoroughly distracted.
We're really good at that.
Oh,
We are.
it's our special skill. So, number 7. What kind of person do we think this is that fits in here? Or do we go super meta? Because we're currently remembering this happening. Is the memory a bit faded?
Ooh, I like that idea.
That's kind of neat.
So you remember this person being there, but there's nothing really there. It's almost like when you try to think too much about them, the memory gets a little bit cracked and hazy, and so there's like you vaguely recall there was a person there, and then there's like this weird brain fuzz, the equivalent of like brain static, and then I kind of like the idea that when you try to remember them, then you just don't, and then they're just not there, so they're just no longer in the memory.
Kind of like we're deliberately blocking it out. Ooh.
I like that. Ooh, juicy.
Yeah.
So this other person then just stops existing, and somehow you just collectively had the idea. Well, even though neither of you said it. Hey, what if we just snuck out the window? And the window was already open.
Yeah. Let's do that thing.
I'm picturing that with like a little haze of static at the corners where, someone might have been standing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this got really cool all of a sudden. Like, it was already cool, but this got super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, I like that. Yeah, so one of you must have just had the idea to go open the window and must have, gone and done it. And so you try and sneak out. And you hop on out and you find yourself on the outside of the castle at Hollow Bastion. There's a big, looming presence of just hugeness. It's big. There's pipes sticking out of it with weird rainbow smoke. If you've never looked at it, you go, That's an impressive looking castle. I don't know why we're here, but look at that.
Yeah, I gotta admit it does look kind of neat, and they would let us stay for free, but I don't know. I'm just not buying all this, especially looking at that test. Maybe there's some
Yeah,
sort
for
of
all that
conspiracy.
for all that these people have no sense of taste, look how gorgeous that is.
Hmm. Have you checked it out at all? Have you gotten to like explore? Do they give you a tour?
No, not really. It's just kind of to and from classes. You? Well, you just said you were in a room for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, something like that. We could give ourselves a tour.
I like that idea.
If we're gonna be stuck here anyway, may as well.
Okay.
So, head to the towers?
Sure.
One thing that either the two of you would have noticed, or you just serendipitously had the realization, you will have noticed, well, the idea will have come to you in some way, shape, or form that in order to not stand out, you should probably get your hands on one of these black coats that a couple of people seem to be wearing. So I think it's fairly easy, but you'd go and find a laundry room or something.
Yeah. That's probably a good idea, for sure.
So you do that. You grab you grab 2 black coats. Don't know why you'd need 3. That's silly. It's just the 2 of you. And you get the coats on, and you now have you've got your little disguise on. You can go have a little wander around the castle, and when I assume if we found the laundry room, you can then kind of just go up into the main foyer safely from there. From the foyer, you know what? For ease, you get a little a little mall mini map that has a little star saying you are here, and labels off the other areas. So it labels off the laboratory, the where else will exist? So there'll be the laboratory. There'll be the meeting rooms. Of course, they're very important for unions. There'll be the residencies, and what is one other location of interest that could come up in this castle?
Is there like a fitness center, gym training area thing?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Just blankly staring at the directory. So where do we want to go? And why are there no like kitchens?
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I get hungry, but do we know if we actually need to eat?
We're just bringing up all the existential questions today.
We really are. I believe if you thought about it for too long, the idea would either come to you either of your own accord or just it'd be plucked out of nowhere. That the residencies would be pointed out and go, maybe they've got private kitchens in each one of these places, like small apartment complexes. Like condos. Maybe they're like condos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh god. The union's just a giant HOA.
Oh my god.
Oh no! didn't that teacher person say they were going to labs and stuff?
Yeah, Sexless. Always on about his science.
Wait, their name is. All
Yeah.
right.
Okay, so technically it's not that, but it sounds a lot like it, so
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. That's unfortunate.
I
Huh.
wonder.
Well, they'll be back in the classroom in under an hour, so we can make that like our later stop, maybe?
Yeah.
So where do you want to go first?
I want to go. Is there like an astronomy? I want to say lab, but I'm picturing like the movie type, like basically Agra's orrery from Dark Crystal.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I would say there's an observatory. It's a castle. It's got big ass towers and turrets. One of these would clearly be an observatory. I think you could go and find that.
Yeah, I'm gonna point to it and say, well, we probably can't get a better view than from there, can we?
I don't know what the heck that is, but I'm gonna trust you on this one. So yeah.
Alright, so at any point as you're going through, do you think you'd come across anyone who might try and get in your way, or do you like, if that happened, would you just put the hoods up on your coats and be like, "Yeah, we're Union members, don't you know us? God, Steve, rude much."
I feel like and correct me if I'm wrong. You know, obviously, Rissix, but I feel like Xylene would at least like put the hood over the head and be like, "Yeah, I totally belong here." You know, looking down at the ground, you can't see my face. If I act like I know where I'm going, they're not gonna question. Her logic might be flawed, but
This is how you are blending in. This is how Rissix is blending in. Have you ever seen Charlize Theron explain how to walk like an evil queen?
No.
Head
No,
up,
but I feel like I
shoulders
should.
back, think murder.
I like it.
Yeah, so Rissix has her hood up, but is doing that.
Mm-hmm.
The very imperious, you don't talk to me kind of walk.
Okay, no, I like that. I like that a lot. On
Well, cool, because I can just bounce off and be like, "Yep, totally the assistant here." That's why I'm looking all. Don't look at her.
yeah, on your walks through, heading on up. For the most part, no one messes, no one interrupts. But I think accidentally at one point you will bump into a very small-looking person in their coat. They bump into you, their hood falls back. They've got wild, crazy hair, like big, thick glasses, and you just go, "Oh, I'm sorry, miss. Oh, yeah, bye." Oh, well.
Aw.
Look, he's very confused by the whole thing, but well, they were clearly up in the observatory, and then they'll just mosey on away, letting you continue on up. So yeah, the observatory, you get on in. Ah, gosh, I'm trying to remember what I'm thinking of a game, but I don't know what game I'm thinking of, and it's really gonna irk me. Where there's a giant observatory with like a giant telescope sticking out the side of it, and then like it kind of opens up, and it's gonna bother me so much. But I cannot think of what I can't remember what I'm thinking of.
Ah, that makes me
I
think of
know
Myst.
it.
I don't know if it actually is Myst because I tried playing it, but it crashed on my computer because it was like 1990 whatever.
I mean, chances are it's been in a lot of things. this kind of notion of a giant observatory. Now I'm thinking about like, yeah, there's one in Final Fantasy VII. I might just have the image from like the codename Kids Next Door, their like weird observatory treehouse thing. That might just be perpetually stuck in my head. Like, but I think I know what I'm thinking of, and it's pretty cool looking. So on the inside of this, I kind of like to imagine that the inside of the dome has got like lots of not just like drawings, like someone's just scratched them on, but like very intricate scientific diagrams, but also magic.
Hmm.
I'm gonna immediately go up to the nearest telescope and start messing with the lens.
Mm-hmm. As you start fiddling with the lens, you kind of feel like the whole observatory kind of rotate and move around a little bit, and as you start to, are you looking through it as you do this, or?
Yeah, I'm looking through it. You know,
Okay.
trying to just looking around, trying to see what I can see through it.
Yeah, so looking around, you see the black emptiness of space, essentially. And as you keep moving, you eventually lock onto something that stands out. And it stands out because it's essentially like you catch a glimpse of what kind of looks like a large theater. Just kind of out there in the middle of space.
That's weird. I'm gonna pass it over to Xylene. Are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing?
Silene has been distracted, like rearranging the books on the shelf that are so carefully organized. She's absolutely just rearranging them all to mess with whoever's system. Oh, wait, huh? Seeing what you're seeing? What?
Oh, look, I don't want to just look through. Just tell me what you see.
Look through this. Okay, and sort of like awkwardly, like doesn't know what she's doing, but eventually is like, okay, I'm looking in the thing. What am I looking at here?
You see the black emptiness of space, and then a weird floating theater that seems to have a large cartoon frog's head on it.
Oh, that's weird.
Right?
You think there's any other weird things we can see in this thing?
I mean, let's try.
Okay, I just want to spin it, so I'm not gonna mess with it. I'll let you, because if I spin it, I might break it. So, and I'm gonna like take a few steps back.
I'm gonna start scanning kind of off to the left.
Okay. You scan and you scan and you scan, with no real like notion of bearings or location. You're just like shooting wildly into the emptiness of space. Nothing seems to be coming up for a while until you seem to find what appears to be an island.
Huh. Okay, this one's an island. Like, check it out.
I look at the island.
Yeah. Eileen,
Huh.
does this island feel familiar?
A little bit. Something about it feels a bit familiar, but I can't quite place my finger on it. And probably just gonna sort of stare at it for far too long. To where it just gets a little awkward for Rissix.
Yeah,
Yeah, just standing there like, did something happen with it? I mean, what's going on?
I don't know. It just it's just really interesting and kind of feels, I don't know, it feels familiar, which is super weird because the last thing I remember was being picked up, or first thing, really, I guess, I remember is being. I don't know, it's just weird. Does
Huh.
it give you a weird feeling? And I'm gonna kind of like let Rissix look again.
I'm gonna look. Hmm. I, I'm trying to decide if this feels familiar to physics. Okay, do all, like, out of character, do all nobodies show up on the island, or was this like a special?
Okay, so the Destiny Islands in Kingdom Hearts,
Right. Okay.
they're I don't know all the lore of them, to be perfectly frank, because the lore is, it's a whole mess of things. But like, as far as my understanding goes, it's kind of like one of those places where people get taken to be safe.
Respawn.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah, it's super weird because I know in like Kingdom Hearts 2, Kairi is literally there and she's not even on the island. She's like across from it and going to school because there's whole cutscenes where they're just talking to this random person. And
Look,
she's like, "What's his name? Sora." And we're like, "What? Where does this come from?"
look, there's so much in Kingdom Hearts we just don't talk about. You know, Sora's mum has like one line of dialogue in Kingdom Hearts 1 and is never heard of or spoken about ever again.
Hmm.
Just like, what the. Hmm?
Yeah, I think she mentions like dinner's ready or something, and that's it.
Yeah. And then it's just never. Like, never heard from. And just never spoken about. You know, Sora's gonna save the world, like, a good half a dozen times, and not once gone, man, I wonder where my mom is.
Stuff we the audience don't need it.
But yes, I'd have to do a Google and a research on the, you know, all the extra stuff. But the Destiny Islands, like, they're not inherently tied to nobodies. They're kind of like a designated safe place that people usually get taken to.
Kind of like Twilight Town.
Yeah.
Okay, so it would feel kind of vaguely familiar to Rissix.
Probably, yeah.
Now that you mention it, it does feel a little familiar.
It's super weird, right?
Yeah. Huh.
I believe at this point the two of you would not so much as hear a voice, but more feel as if you are asked a question, not from each other, and certainly not from anyone else in the room. There's no one else here. Why would there be anyone else here? That's not possible. But you probably both feel like a question has been asked of where's home? Like, what is home?
Well, if we're remembering this place, are we from space?
Uh, I mean, maybe we're from space, or maybe like I don't know, because I ate before class, and maybe I just ate something really bad. I don't know, that fish looks a little weird. What is home? I don't know. That word's weird.
Yeah, I haven't. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I've done a lot of remembering lately. It's just like
You
it's
just
like I have
are.
memories of, yeah, it's like, well, where was I yesterday? Oh, I was in this stupid classroom. Where was I before that? Oh, probably in this classroom.
Okay. So, do you want to try and remember something?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, let's have a look. I believe the best thing to roll for this, yeah, let's say push through stress.
Okay.
So you get to roll with links and choosable links.
Pulling up my links. Um, I'm gonna push through stress using heart, I guess.
Yeah.
And I guess I can use my link to Xylene.
Okay, so when you
Okay.
roll with links,
Mhm.
the way that works is you don't use your heart bonus or your light bonus or
Oh,
whatever. You use the
okay.
number of links you have, and whatever that is,
Okay.
up to 4, I believe the cap is.
Okay. I have
Yeah,
five
caps
heart
at 4.
links. Yeah. I have 5 heart links, so I would roll. It's the 3 dice plus 4, right?
Yes.
Okay. Rolling. Let's see. Oh, 13 plus 4.
Wait, did you say 3 dice?
Yeah, is it
Uh,
2?
It's
I don't
It's
remember.
2, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah,
Ha.
it's a 2d6. Plus...
Sorry, I'm
No,
a
you're
little
good.
bit out of it today, so let's re-roll those.
No, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I didn't clock that you said 3. It's okay to be out of it.
Okay. 6 plus 4, so that's 10.
Okay, so with a 10, you get to choose 2 of the following. Succeed at what you're attempting, take plus 1 forward, ask a question about the scene, gain an advantageous position.
Hmm. I want to ask a question about this scene.
Mm-hmm. So, what would you like to ask?
Is there anything in this lab that seems familiar?
That's a really good question.
Flip a coin, yes or no?
Well, I think the answer is definitely yes. Now I'm just trying to figure out what it could be. Or do you have an idea of what the familiar thing could be in this lab that's...
I think a book. As I'm kind of looking around, you know how you kind of do when you're thinking, you're just sort of absently looking around.
Mm-hmm.
But before I can really think of anything regarding like any concrete idea of home, as I'm going back through what memories I have, I see a book. It's one of the ones that Xylene rearranged,
Mm-hmm.
and the title of it looks familiar.
Yeah. Now, what is the title of this book, or like what is familiar about it per se?
Um, let's see. It's like a worn, leather-bound, not terribly thick book. and the title is embossed, but it's kind of falling apart, so every now and then the little flakes of gold leaf are gone.
Mm-hmm.
And to make up a book or to pick one that exists.
See, this is where, if I was a real Kingdom Hearts fan, I'd be able to tell you all the names of the books that are in Kingdom Hearts 1 in the library, which,
A lot of them, though, if I remember right, because I did play a little bit of 1 and stuff, 1 and 2 recently. I think a lot of them don't necessarily have titles, at least in 2. They just had, like, descriptions of what's in them.
List of books.
So,
oh yeah, there's a Google.
From my recollection, Kingdom Hearts 1, we remember the library at Hollow Bastion. There's a bunch of books that have, like, titles. And
oh yeah.
the titles don't mean anything. It's really just the first letter, because you need to arrange them like A, B, C, D, E.
Yeah.
But I just cannot remember any of the titles for the life of me.
Yeah, it's okay. So I'm looking on khwiki.com. There's stuff like Hathet Volume 4, Mava Volume 3.
That's it. They're all. It's just a letter and then like a number, because then you need to take that over to the right area. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I'm looking at them now and I'm like, huh.
There's just a bunch of words. They don't even mean anything.
Yeah.
No, they
Yeah.
don't. Nahara.
I'm gonna pick up that. Yeah, that's what it is. It's Nahara Volume 5.
So, what is so familiar about this? Like, what? It doesn't need to be like a full memory. Just what is this giving you a hint of? Like maybe like a brief flash of something when you look at it.
As I look at it, I have just this brief flash of putting a bookmark in it, closing it, and reaching for a cup of coffee as I look over to answer a question from someone.
Okay, I like that. It's very nice. Yeah. Xylene. As you are ruminating, trying to figure out what about these islands seem familiar, I think probably being pushed a little bit more from the question you felt in your mind before the static kind of fuzzed it. Would you like to try pushing through stress to see if you can remember anything?
Yeah, sure. And I will use. Okay, I got an 8, and I'll go ahead and use. I think I'll use my mastery, which I think up to 4, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12?
Yeah. 12, yeah. So you can pick 2, so succeed at what you're attempting, take +1 forward, ask a question, gain an advantageous position.
Okay. I think I will. I'll take +1 forward as one of them in case something comes up next time. We have to. And the other, I think, just kind of looking through. I'll kind of go back to looking at it through. Essentially, like looking through the lens, trying to figure out why things feel as familiar as they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I will see a face of a woman. She's got like brown hair. It's up in a ponytail. Part of it's kind of sort of cascading down the side. And she has a stick, and she swings it towards me, and I swing back with mine. Essentially like a combative, and I just hear her say again after losing my footing.
Okay. Now, this person, do they look older than you, similar age? Does this feel like a friendly? Does this feel like a teacher position?
Friendly. Definitely some kind of teacher position. So more of like a student teacher kind of friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Mentor. She is a bit older. And yeah.
We're learning things today.
Do, 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 do.
So, with that, the two of you just, I think we just remembered something. Weird. Huh. Is I believe at this point, neither one of you has really put too much effort into trying to recall much about who you are. Just kind of living in the moment and existing. I believe at this point, as you are ruminating and remembering, you would definitely like feel something, and it's a very uncomfortable sensation because it's like you definitely feel like you feel something, but you're also not really there. It's like, okay, it feels like something is happening, but I can't really put a word to describe it because I know I'm not actually feeling this. It's like I am remembering what it is like to have an emotion about this thing that has just happened. If that makes any sense at all, if I didn't butcher it
No,
entirely.
I'm picturing it like how you remember like an event that you were happy in, and you remember that you were happy, but you don't have that exact feeling in you now
Yeah,
because it's not actually happening to you now.
exactly. So it's very that.
Okay, now my brain just rabbit holed into the whole Inside Out thing where the happy memory turns sad and the character suddenly gets sad and she's like, why?
I still never watched Inside Out.
It's fun.
Really good.
Mm-hmm.
I cry every time.
Right, I'll put it on the list. Oh god, how would an Inside Out world work in Kingdom Hearts? Like,
Oh, okay. I just had a thought, and it was too much.
there's
So
just like a giant person in space.
we are inside of the universe's mind.
I mean, I would assume it would probably work more like you would probably go inside, like, Sora, or inside someone, and you'd do that.
Kind of like the Winnie the Pooh books.
Yeah.
How you go inside the book, so
Oh,
there's
yeah,
like
yeah.
a legally distinct Disney-fied, totally not Miss Frizzle that transports you inside the head of, whoever.
That could actually be super interesting, if there was like a different level for each person, so you go into Sora's for one, and then go into Donald's for one.
Disney's Inception.
Oh wow.
Oh no.
Okay. So, as you're remembering a feeling that you had whilst remembering this stuff, would you say that you're fairly distracted? Or at least not super aware of your environment?
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So, in this moment of distraction, I believe the door would get flung open, and standing there There is a there's a very large, angry-looking lady, and stood beside her is Sexless, just kind of going, "You." Um,
I have an idea.
yes.
I would like to use magic,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna try to create a hole in the floor for us to just be like, bye, and drop through.
Okay. Okay, that's amazing. Yeah, please do. Please roll magic.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. 8 plus 2, that's a 10.
With that, you get to pick 3. So, okay, the first one here is literally the magic opens something. So, the
Exactly.
floor. And then the other options, cause 1 harm, heal 1 harm, hits more than 1 entity, no unintended consequences, an illusion, semi-permanent condition, bypasses defenses.
Can I open another hole?
Yes. So you can open
Okay.
2 things.
So I'm going to open one hole under us
Mhm.
and another somewhere else, so we're not just falling through the floor.
So you're making a portal.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then the third thing you would like. So, I assume you're not fussed about causing harm or healing harm.
No. Would, I guess, multiple targets, since it's the 3, I mean 2 of us?
Yeah, to get the 2 of you. Yeah,
So-
that'll do it.
The second that Sexless goes, you! I'm gonna look over, do that bye wave, but with the movement.
Mhm.
Rissix's eyes glow, and it looks like some of the colors from, like, the nearby, like, kind of a brassy color from the telescope.
Mhm.
That she's pulling it over and circling it, and it goes to the floor and opens that portal, and we just drop through Looney Tunes style.
As we fall through, I'm gonna attempt to do like the finger guns, like.
Okay. Very happy with that. Very much enjoy that. Where does your portal take you to? Where are you opening it on the other side?
I feel like the smart answer would be back to that classroom,
Mm-hmm.
but how much more time do we got today?
Well, it depends on when we want to finish, because obviously originally we were going to end around about like 5 minutes time, because that's originally when Capjack would have had to have gone. But we do still have like another whole hour if we want it.
I kind of had an idea if we wanted to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What if we accidentally, like, you don't know exactly where the portal goes, and what if we accidentally wind up in the directors?
Yes! Yeah, it's just like a vague thought of out. So, yeah, the portal opens and we fall through the ceiling to the director's office.
Okay. No. I like that. So you were thinking, get me out of here, and you do that, and you find it. The portal opens, and you fall rather unceremoniously in a small heap in a very. It's a very large room that is purposefully kept very dark and shadowy. The only source of light is through a very large, ostentatious stained glass window. It's very unsettling in here. It feels empty. There's definitely no immediate sign of another person here, so you would have no clue as to where you have just landed.
Huh. Rissix, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where are we?
Um, I'd like to tell you that I know where we are, but that would be a lie. Looks
Hmm,
important, though.
it does look important. And also kind of weird. Should we try to shuffle out of here, or do you want to like check this place out?
Uh, I'd kind of like to look around a bit.
All right, don't have to tell me twice.
Okay. So, whilst in this, what is essentially an antechamber, obviously there is a very large door behind you. You assume that's how you get out. In front of you, large stained glass window on the wall, and there does appear to be a hallway that leads in somewhere. I assume you would follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. 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 Going into the hallway. Well, it's quite dark. You start to go through. You do start to notice that there are torches lit on the walls, and there's various murals on the walls. Lots of. There's some like old paintings. So heavily worn, it's really hard to tell what they're even of. Some vaguely look like very old cartoon strips, if that would make any sense, but severely damaged and worn. There's a lot of scribblings, and it's not particularly cohesive, as it were. And as you go deeper in, you do see a very bright light coming from a room at the end. And there's a slightly high pitched sound. It sound from this distance. It sounds fairly muffled, but it is definitely high pitched.
That's uncomfortable.
Yeah. Little
Should we
bit.
try going to the light?
Uh, yeah, but maybe we should, like, try to not bring attention to ourselves. Like, just, open the door a little bit, peek in, see if anyone's in there.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
just
Good
enough.
Good idea.
Okay. So, as you approach the end of this hallway, there's not really like a door. It's just like an open door frame, as it were. So when you get closer and the light isn't so blinding, you can kind of what you can immediately make out is this room is stark opposite to what you'd just been in. Whereas before it's all very dark and mysterious, and this is very, very bright and white and clinical looking. It is clean, and there's not really a sign of anybody from your immediate position, but in the middle of the room there is a strange mechanical contraption of sorts that seems to be containing in the middle of it a large glowing white heart. Like heart symbol, not like an actual.
Yeah, not like a human heart.
Hey, you've been in the class for a little while now. Did they talk anything about the heart things?
Would they have?
No.
Okay, no, this is 100% new to me.
So
you're saying we've made a discovery?
So the muffled sound you could hear from before, you can now hear a lot clearer. This definitely seems to be coming from, it's not in this room, but it's definitely somewhere attached to this. And you hear, it's definitely the sound of a voice. Its exact wording is faint, but essentially what you can hear out is, ho ho, look here, you. We're working to figure this out, and I don't care how hard it is. You're gonna get it sorted, and you're gonna get it figured out, or the whole worlds are in danger. Ho ho!
I think we stumbled upon an important conversation. Should we listen in? Or should we mess with the thing?
I want to say in my experience, messing with glowy things is bad, but I have no idea why I know that.
Right. So, listen into the conversation?
Listen into the conversation.
Oh, maybe that'll mean if we listen in, we can get some dirt and maybe be able to pass the class or just leave.
Excellent idea.
So, listening in, the retort, it is a much deeper voice. It's very much. It responds by going, "Your Majesty, I do not quite yet have the preparations to test your hypothesis. I'm aware of its importance." You're damn right you're aware of its importance, buddy! Look, I don't care how long we've known each other. You need to do exactly what I say, alright? Ho ho! To which the deeper voice goes, yes, your Majesty, I will get right on that. And the conversation seems to end.
Conversation's over. Should we try... Let's get out of here.
As you start to do that, the deeper voice just kind of speaks out like, "Oh, you done eavesdropping?"
Immediately has the deer in headlights look. Squirrel, they don't want to hear what you have to say.
I most certainly want to hear what Squirrel has to say.
He's just...
Chirp, chirp, I'm a squirrel? Sounds like something a squirrel would say.
Well, you're nearly correct, but in my experience, the correct way to communicate with squirrels is to go squeaker, squeak, squeak, squeakerson.
Oh my god, it is actually canon. That is how you talk to squirrels.
We can just go if you want. Didn't hear anything important.
No, it's quite all right. I don't think I know. Well, I know you two. I just don't. I was unaware that. Well, you certainly shouldn't be back here.
Yeah, we're kind of starting to figure that out now.
Yes, did the big closed doors and the ominous room, and the large elevator one has to take to come out of here when it's specifically out of the way for anybody. Did all of that give it away that you really shouldn't be here? Not to mention the fact that you are asked very nicely to stay in the classroom until you finish your exams.
Well, nice is kind of relative. You might want to have a conversation with the teacher. But we got turned around, right?
Yep.
Yes, okay. Well, I suppose... You didn't really see or hear anything too... Wait, did you see the big heart?
No, totally didn't see a big heart.
That's... You don't know what it is, but you probably should. How would you like to be... How would you like to become members of the Union?
Do we have to go back to that classroom?
No, we can skip that.
Excellent,
part.
I'm all for this.
Good.
Union.
Good.
I hear we have dental.
We most certainly do. It's a very important thing to me. Now, how about we just all forget that you heard that conversation and that you saw this thing?
What conversation? How did I get here?
Good.
Yeah.
Now, one moment. The tall, shadowy figure kind of brings out like a small communications device and rings up, and you see like a holographic Sexless show up who looks very perturbed and is breathing very heavily, and he goes, Director, I was just trying to find Sexless. Those two students you were missing. They are here. I have taken a special interest in them, and they are to be made members of the Union post-haste. In fact, we will send them out on a mission right away. And Sexless is just very lost and confused, and it looks like he's trying to say something before he just gets hung up on. Just boop. Now, as part of the Union, we are identified by numbers. So, Rissix, I bestow unto you number 6.
Okay.
7. And Xylene, you shall be number 8.
Neat.
I love how it is like 6, 8. Yeah, that's exactly how I remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe it's like, my logic is, in my mind, it's kind of like how a lot of hotels don't have hotel rooms with the number 13.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just like skipped over. Maybe 7's unlucky there.
And with that, the director will kind of look at you and be like, now, what we do here at the Union is we collect hearts. And not in like a... did anybody see Repo? It's not that. We don't do that. But it's more the metaphorical concept of a heart. And we do that by defeating Heartless. Then we aren't hurting individuals. It's a whole thing.
How do Heartless have hearts that I'm confused.
So here's... it's a whole
Here's the
big
thing. Explains the plot of Kingdom Hearts.
So, there's this guy named Xehanort. And he's like 13 people. And then there's this kid named Sora, and he's like 7 people. Okay. The director explains the base concept of, so Heartless is what happens when people fall to darkness. Their hearts are still there, they just need to be defeated, and then their hearts will be released, and they all return to Kingdom Hearts, which is both the idea, the place, and the other place. Okay, so hang on. Kingdom Hearts is the idea, the location, and the item. Kingdom Hearts is weird, man. Like,
Trying to explain the lore to any non-Kingdom Hearts, it's just, no. I've been playing Kingdom Hearts for, ever, and I still don't fully understand.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, all 3 of those things, it's fine. You say, okay, when you vanquish darkness, the hearts are released and they return to Kingdom Hearts. Whether you mean Kingdom Hearts, the idea, the place, or the item, doesn't matter, because they're all true. The hearts just go back there. That's how it works.
Mhm. Yeah, look, we're in like metaphysical territory here, so I figure, yeah, just the explanation's just gonna be weird creatures that are formed from real people. The points are made up and nothing matters.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty
I
much.
mean, yeah.
And the director will basically explain, the basic gist of the Union, how it works, who you are, what all of this junk, and essentially says, all right, so what you do, what we would like from you is to go out on a mission and retrieve some hearts, vanquish some darkness, all that junk. You're capable. You passed the exams. Look, it says so right here. You passed all the exams. You're ready to go. And with that, I believe if it was meant to have like a small montage of memories of like you and so Xylene and Rissix, going off doing stuff, and then sometimes like a third person, but not really. Like that's no third person, and you probably go to like a few different locations. I believe Rissix mentioned offhandedly had once been to a Sesame Street world. So there's like a little flashback montage of that happening.
Flashback of us singing C is for Cookie along with Cookie Monster, like at a karaoke bar.
100%.
But it's Sesame Street, so it's the grocery store.
Mm.
Xylene, where's a place for... Where's a little vignette and a scene that you have, and this little montage flashback of events and places?
I kind of feel like we're legally obligated to have Atlantica just pop up at some point.
Yeah, so...
Ariel, play your C Calliope.
It is absolutely not the mini games though from 2.
I am very okay with that. So, you have a little memory montage of the two of you as mermaids, probably going, why? Being cool, I'm a mermaid, but this seems like a massive inconvenience.
Yeah, just like
Yeah.
the awkwardest and grouchiest mermaids.
Okay. So, these all seem to be fairly successful and happy recollections. Hey, squirrel.
Yeah, my cat likes to use me. He was resting and then he used me as a launching pad. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, that'll happen.
Cats just be like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think after a few quick recollections of, oh yeah, that was a fun thing to remember, there will be, I think the memory would definitely have like this very harsh static effect. And then I believe you'd probably have an overwhelming recollection of fear, panic, stress, and what little vignettes can be seen during this?
I'm
Mm.
picturing Fantasia.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like that. I very much like that.
Monstro. Only because I freaking hate. I
Oh,
hated
God.
that level.
My cousin gave me a black eye with a... Okay, back in the early 90s, when Pinocchio was like re-released and Burger King did this tie-in with it, and one of the toys they had was an inflatable Monstro. So I'm at my aunt's house one day, and I'm looking through one of those viewfinder things. My cousin comes up and just smacks me in the face with it, and it gave me a black eye. And I already didn't really
Ooh.
like Pinocchio, but now I really don't like Pinocchio.
Ooh.
Okay.
I
So,
just, yeah.
Y'all heard about the guy who literally got swallowed by a whale earlier this week, right?
I did hear about that. That's why I thought of Monstro.
oh, I have not heard of this. What is this?
Ooh, okay. Is a guy who was diving for lobsters, I guess,
hmm
and a humpback whale just kind of accidentally scooped him up while it was feeding, and he did an AMA on Reddit, and I was reading it, and apparently it like sucked off all of its clothes, like as he's like thrashing around in there. Um, the whale, he got kind of mauled because the whale was trying to maneuver its tongue so it could spit him out.
Ew. Ow.
Yeah, it was just for like a few seconds, I guess, but
hmm
yeah, it's kind of wild.
That sounds really interesting. You should look at that at some point. Okay. So, are we thinking Monstro is where the staticky panic comes in then?
Yes.
Okay. So, for now, obviously, for some reason, the inside of Monstro is pink with like yellow and purple and green splotches all over the walls. It just is. So, I kind of like the idea of there's not really any solid memories, but there is probably very visceral reactions to just those color palettes. And do you see anything specific that's happening as this memory is playing itself out to the two of you?
Um,
Mm,
so we'd probably be fighting a Heartless in here, right?
Hmm.
yeah, like a BBGS Cartless.
Monstro's tongue is the Heartless.
The uvula.
So I swear at one point in Kingdom Hearts 1 you do actually have to like slap the shit out of Monstro's uvula.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Okay, I like that. The uvula, the most fearsome of all mouth parts.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so like what, this thing is just like swinging around wildly.
It has like a swing attack where it just
Yeah, it just hits the whole room, and oh my god. Okay, so this is both hilarious, but also kind of awfully tragic, which I think. So obviously, as you're having these memories, like static goes and kind of messes everything up. But I kind of like the idea that there's just this moment where like you're very damaged, and not just because the uvula is slapping around. I assume there's like a big heartless, or there's like a swarm of small heartless, and you're not doing particularly well. And then like something just like someone you're trying not to remember or blocking out, they like just grab hold of the uvula and pull it back as far as they can, and it feels like the whole building, the whole room you are in, obviously you're inside Monstro, like just gets lifted up vertically. And as the two of you get expelled out, the other person who you weren't with, because they don't exist, we don't think about them, you see them just have to let go and fall into the darkness of the whale as you are expelled out.
I like that.
Yeah.
You see static falling down a hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
And with that, I think that would bring us wonderfully back to Gravity Falls, where your fun little memory of your time at school has probably left you feeling a little bit something about something. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, how you looking? How you feeling?
Uh, so yeah, when we look back at the school and we started that memory of, oh yeah, how we met, blah blah blah, and it goes quickly from like,
A happy, fun conversation to
yeah, to just all of a sudden like maybe trailing off, awkward silence, suddenly feeling stressed for no reason.
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, school and stuff, and we have a job to do.
Yeah, let's maybe walk in another direction than the school. I just,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so I actually really like that as an end point for you. Just this, let's walk in a bit. So you kind of walk away, and the camera would pan over, and we just kind of like see the school, and then maybe it would static, and the school would shift and be the trailer, and then static back,
Mm-hmm.
which is also, because this is Gravity Falls, very on brand for the weird little conspiracy moments Gravity Falls would keep having.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look at us, thematically planning things. So yeah, as you are walking away, there's a static, and none of you don't see it because you walked the other way. But a small triangle seems to appear in the air, with a very distinctive little chuckle to itself, before disappearing in the static.
Yes.
And
Awesome.
you know what? Yeah, I think that's a really good place to wrap off today. So, thank you, everybody. I am the Bardic Knock, and you can find me on the internet, Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube, all as the Bardic Knock. The other important thing to bring up that is a thing that is occurring this Saturday. So, in however many days that is, well, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, in 3 whole days, I can count. On my Twitch channel, the twitch.tv/Bardic Knock, and right here on Nerds of Dice, we're going to be hosting the card games for charity event. So from like 10 a.m. Eastern through to however long it takes. We've got 5 entrants. We're doing like a round robin tournament. There's going to be giveaways throughout the day. We're raising money for the Stonewall Foundation, and we've got dice to give away. We've got gift cards for some nerdware to give away. We've got packs of trading cards if you want small pieces of cardboard that could be worth money. So it's all there. We're gonna have a lot of fun. And it's all for a good cause, so if you're around on Saturday and would like to come and support, it's going to be both here on Nuts with Dice and over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/the Bardic Knock. So that is me doing the stuff and the things on Whatsits. Kay, who are you and what are you doing?
Hey, I'm Kay, aka Undead Kay. You can find me on Twitter as well as my own Twitch channel. Just by searching Undead K. And yeah, I have been Xylene, the playing the discarded playbook. Bit of a, odd duck her, but it's fine. And yeah, hopefully I can get back into streaming and stuff soon, other than my bi-weekly Curse of Strahd on my own channel has been kind of quiet lately, but I've been, doing things like getting ready to go back to school and all that. So yeah, I'm super stoked, but I have plans. I just gotta make them happen. So if you're interested, keep an eye on my Twitch channel for that. And yeah.
And then finally, Lauren, who are you and what cool stuff do you do?
Hello, I am Lauren. You can find everywhere I'm at professionally at my website, lwsalinas.com. Uh, this past weekend, I was actually a guest at a virtual convention. It's the Virtual Super Friends celebration. If you go to the Phoenix Sisters Cosplay YouTube channel, you can find, in addition to me talking about voice acting and the women of DC Comics, you can find just all sorts of panels there with interesting guests, and it was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to hopefully try and host a panel for them again. And I will be running a Wanderhome game here on Nerds with Dice. It was supposed to start Monday, but due to some technical difficulties and real life personal stuff, it's a bit delayed. So we'll be starting next week for cozy adventures with woodland creatures. And other than that, a quick personal plug. So I have a cat, Pike. You might have seen him on the channel before. And we just adopted a dog named Fulton. He's a lab mix with sensory processing issues. And if you want to see pictures of them, their Instagram is fuzz_bugs. So look at pictures of my adorable pets. And other than that, I have been Rissix, the, at this point, very angry wine mom of magician of the group Mystic. That's what it's called.
So, all of that's wonderful stuff. But you know what my mind immediately went to? The fact that you had that panel last week. Imagine if that had been this week, how much more you would have to talk about of all the current discourse to do with fucking Batman.
Whew, yeah.
Just being 1 week out before having...
Considering how much we were angry in the panel about the whole, the Bat family can't be happy ever, so therefore nobody can get married. If we brought the whole current Batman discourse trademark into it, we could have talked for probably another hour.
Now, I think that is a wonderful place to wrap up. Let's just firmly... Although, weirdly enough, since we haven't specifically talked about what it is, that doesn't just date this. This future-proofs it, because I can guarantee in a year's time there's going to be a current Batman discourse that will just as a... Anyhow, yeah, comics are weird.
Yeah. Timeless.
Yeah. So, all I have to say on it is, don't be a hero, people.
Remember, giving lovers are the real heroes.
That's that. So, what we're going to do is we're going to raid Cobalt Press, because I have seen their live, and they are a people I understand and recognize. So we're going to do that. And until next time, everybody, stay safe and happy adventures. Awkward pause because I forget how long raiding takes to set up. Bye-bye.